Hello mga moms, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. How are you? It's a Saturday. Ayan, may nanonood na ba sa atin? Huwag ka sana mga nanonood. Hello naman mga moms. You can comment sa comment section po para ma-acknowledge namin kayo. Magandang gabi. Tulog na ba yung mga kids niyo? Sana tulog na yung mga kids niyo. No? Ayun. Okay, so today, ang gagawin natin, we'll just talk about freelancing. And is it the right time for you to start freelancing now? I often get this question, is freelancing for me? And kailan ba ideal na simulan ang pag-freelance? Yung iba kasi na-overwhelm because overwhelming naman talaga, no? So there's a lot of information from here and there about freelancing. So we'll try to answer kung para ba sa inyo ang freelancing. Okay, let's try to dig a little bit deeper yung mga cons and pros and what really is freelancing is what really is freelancing and is it really ideal for you or good for you. No, kasi ako I have been advocating freelancing, especially for moms, because it has changed my life. If you remember our discussion with Mommy Young and Mommy Zyra yesterday during the coffee with coaches, we just talked about how freelancing changed our lives, and it changed our lives for the better. And this is really very ideal for mothers who want to enjoy the best of both worlds. I remember talaga vividly. Nung single kasi ako, it was okay. So parang feeling ko, I want to climb the corporate ladder. Because single pa ako, I was so driven and I was so ambitious and motivated to soar high sa aking corporate career. But it changed nung nagkaroon ako ng family. And ang iniisip ko talaga nung dati, I want to spend more time with kids. Kasi maalala ko, at around 4 or 5 in the morning, you have to wake up to prepare para pumunta ng opisina. No? So I have to leave the house at around 6 o'clock in the morning. So tulog ko yung mga bata. Darating kami ng husband ko sa gabi because layo-layo ng travel and it's traffic. Dumadating kami sa bahay around 7:30 to 8 o'clock ng gabi. Imagine. And minsan, wala pang luto. So magluluto pa kami. Alam mo yun, so say for example, nakapag-settle down kami around 10 o'clock ng gabi. Ilang oras na lang to bond with the kids. Syempre, pagod ka na rin. Pagod na rin ako kasi di ba gabi na I have to wake up again earlier the next day. So alam mo yung cycle na nakakapagod siya. And every Friday, every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, parang feeling ko, di ba, I should devote my time sa mga bata because it's a weekend. Pero that's not the case. Kasi pagod ako the entire week sa trabaho. So the tendency is I'd rather sleep, pahinga, or if not, do the household chores like laundry, cleaning, etc., etc. Or probably going out, grocery, ganon. And then pagka Sunday, settle down, prepare because on a Monday, you're going to the office again. And it's a cycle, paulit-ulit. So sabi ko, pwede kaya, that I can enjoy the best of both worlds. Earn, still in control of my professional growth and at the same time, be present with my family, especially my kids, and, be able to witness the milestone. And, lo and behold, thank God talaga that I get to discover freelancing. And that is why we at Moms at Work, I personally, I'm advocating talaga na try freelancing because when I tried freelancing, I did not. So, ayun, we'll try to answer the question once and for all. Is freelancing free? Okay? So, ayun, I hope, yeah, yung mga kids itulungan and you can really focus on this mini webinar. Okay. Ayan. So, no once and for all is freelancing free. Now, let's start. Yeah, so I think you've known me already. So ako si May, I'm May Martin. I'm the founder of Moms at Work and Digital. And so, yun na nga, because I found freedom and flexibility and financial security in freelancing, that's why I am strongly empowering, advocating, inspiring moms out there to try freelancing. So you will be able to enjoy the same benefits. Yung kagaya ng in-enjoy ko and enjoy namin ng mga coaches sa mga support nila Mami Muna, Mami Zaira, Mami Angel, and Mami Christy, among the other freelancers out there. Okay, so ang service na ino-offer ko sa mga clients ko ay ang HR and recruitment consultant. So, I offer my services and expertise as a full cycle HR and recruitment specialist to all my clients from all across the globe. So, sitting on either side of the table as a recruiter, as a freelance business owner, as an independent contractor, so I'd like to share my freelancing knowledge with you and get your career started. So, I hope you'll find this workshop, mini workshop helpful. Let's start by defining ano ba ang freelancer. Okay? Now, ang freelancer po, it's an individual. It's a person who works independently and provides professional service for various clients or businesses or companies. Okay? So, isa siyang independent contractor na nagbibigay ng service sa mga foreign clients or kahit local clients remotely. Although freelancers can still be bound by a contract, they are not required to work exclusively with their clients. And ito ang kagandahan ng freelancers, being a freelancer. While you're still bound by a contract, syempre may mga NDAs yan, may mga kontrata yan and all, but you're not required to work exclusively for one client. You can accept as many clients as you can. Of course, provided na you'll be able to deliver kung ano yung mga na-promise mo na i-deliver sa kanila. No? And that is actually the reason kung bakit kumikita talaga siya ng malaki. Kasi ang dami-dami niyang clients na pwedeng pagsilbihan. Of course, meron na yung they can always outsource it to somebody else and get a percentage out of it. But yeah, in its simple term, ang freelancer po ay isang individual who works independently for another person offering her or his service. And nagiging remote siya if we call it online freelancer. Okay? Now, let's talk about the setup. Now, ano naman ang setup nito? Now, in terms of work arrangement, in terms of work arrangement and payment, the freelancer and their client have to come to an agreement. So, ayun nga, sabi ko kanina that we will have contract. Sometimes may mga NDA pa yan, no? Now, usually and ideally, the two parties should agree in terms of cost, deadlines, deliverables, and payment arrangements. Ito, gusto kong i-clarify na ang freelancers are not employees. And because they are not employees, both of them can discuss about what will the contract look like. So they can talk about, deliverables, kailan dapat isasubmit yung mga pre-namis na isubmit, Ano yung payment arrangements, ano yung work arrangements, magkano ang rate mo, magkano, ilang oras ang gugugol dito and all of that, no? So, hindi siya kagaya nung sa employment setup that that the company will say, okay, 8 to 5, ganitong oras ka dapat magtrabaho. Tapos may 1 hour break. Walang ganun. No? So, dito sa freelance, you can take control of your timing, of your income, and of the deadline and deliverables. But of course, you have to come into agreement with the client. No? Okay. Now, reasons to choose freelancing. Bakit very interesting ang pag-freelance, especially online freelancing? Because, number one, when you go freelance, there is such a thing as work-life harmony. Diba? Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na akala ko I will only, I cannot enjoy the best of both worlds. Diba yung sabi ko kanina? Akala ko I will not be able to do that. Nung single ako, it's okay. Pero nung nagkaroon ako ng pamilya, parang feeling ko, hindi na siya okay because I don't get to spend much time sa aking pamilya. But nagbago yung nag-freelance ako because 24/7 I get to see them every day. No? 24/7. And that said, you will get to choose when, where, and how to work. Okay? Yun yung isa sa mga pinakamagandang benefit ng freelancing. And balik tayo, it's very ideal, especially if you are a mother like me. So you'll be able to create a career and lifestyle that works for you. So in my case, for example, that I really do not want to work graveyard. Ayokong magtrabaho ng graveyard kasi hindi ako productive na. Then I get to choose. No? Ayoko magtrabaho ng graveyard. Although may mga mothers ako, mother freelancers ako na nakam across na they prefer naman working graveyard. Which is okay din if that's their preference, di ba? Kasi most of the clients abroad, specifically sa US, iba yung time zone nila. So for example, ngayon, alas 9 ng gabi, alas 9 ng umaga doon. Depende if it's CST, PST, or EST, no? But yeah, you get my point na pag gabi dito, umaga doon, especially sa US, Canada, yung mga ganun. So, you can choose, oh, gusto ko mag-graveyard, ayaw ko mag-graveyard or gusto ko part-time lang, or gusto ko full-time, or whatever, you can decide. And there is somehow work-life harmony in that area. Okay? Another reason bakit attractive ang freelancing is because you can become your own boss. So the working relationship, like what I said, as an online freelancer, you are not an employee. Okay? You are a partner to the client. You are partners. No, the working relationship with business owner and sa iyo, it's a collaborative effort. It's a partnership. Okay? And dahil partnership siya, hindi ka both of you should come to an agreement. Hindi yung si client lang ang dapat magde-decide about the deliverables, about the time, about the rate, etc. etc. Both of you must come to an agreement kung ano yung makakabuti for the project, for the client, because they have hired you as an expert to begin with. So for example, ako, the client hired me as a recruitment specialist or as a recruitment consultant. Ako yung tinatakbuhan nila when they are in need of people. So technically, ako yung expert sa field na yun. No? So, and because ako yung expert sa field na yun, naturalmente that they would ask me, uy, ano ba yung magandang gawin ni? Ano ba yung strategy? How do we go about? Okay? So, and having said that, it's indeed a partnership. Hindi ka sasabihin, uy, May, this is how we want it done. Kasi ikaw yung mas expert sa area na yun. Okay? Another thing is choosing what to work on. And this is something that I like also in freelancing. As a freelancer, you'll be able to choose the projects to take on and finally have the chance to work on jobs that bring you satisfaction. Roles that you care about, roles that you are passionate about. Ang kagandahan sa freelancing, you get to choose the client who want to work with you. You get to choose the projects you want to take on. So for example, even if there are a lot of clients who say want to work with me, hindi lahat yung inuuuhan ko, no? Kasi for example, there's a client who will come to me, may gusto ko ng magtrabaho ka ng ganito. Eh, ayaw ko nga ng graveyard. So I can say, ay, pasensya, hindi ako amenable sa terms na yan. Or, eto lang yung budget. So, you can decide, ay, hindi siya pasok sa budget ko. Alam mo yun? Or, hindi kayo nag-a-align ng values. So, parang demanding naman doon ng client na to. Or, micromanager naman doon ng client na to. So, alam mo yun? You get to decide if this project is something that you want to work with, want to take on, this is the client that you want to work with. Yung mga ganun. So I think it's also best for you to be able to decide and to choose what clients, who are the clients that you want to work with and the projects that you want to take on. I think it's also important that you have to identify kung ano yung mga non-negotiables mo. So for example, if, because you have kids, for instance, you have kids and eto yung sleeping time nila. So make sure na you will be working during the time na pwedeng tulog sila para hindi ka ma-interrupt o hindi ka ma-disturb. I have a friend also, she's an online freelancer as well. Kahit na may offer sa kanya ng mga well, it's not full-time, parang, sige, full-time or madaming clients, hindi niya tinitake talaga yun. So, nagtitake siya ng mga clients na part-time, so minsan 4 hours lang, alam mo yun. So, you can decide. That's the beauty of freelancing. You can choose who and what projects to take on and who are the clients that you want to work with. Okay, another thing is family time. Now, when you're stuck in an office cubicle or are required to travel for work, chances are that you won't have the luxury to spend as much time with your family. And this is what I said earlier, di ba? Na kulang ang panahon na makapag-spend time ka with your family, with your husband, with your kids. Especially sa akin because I have 4 kids. And lahat sila, yung babies pa nga. I have 1-year-old, 2 years yung ng mga girls ko. 1, 3, 5, and 7. But the other one just turned 8 in December. So, yun, you will not be able to spend much time kung nasa opisina. No? And the reason why online freelancing is also very attractive because of the family time. Kasi nasa bahay ka lang, di ba, nagtatrabaho. So you get to see them. And like what I said, you have control of your time. Pwede mong, pwede ka magtrabaho while they are asleep. And then, kung gising naman sila, then you can bond with them, play with them, and be present sa kanila. Okay, another thing would be zero travel. Imagine mo yun, nasa corporate ka, nagtatrabaho ka sa opisina. Ang office hours starts at 8 o'clock, but you don't wake up at 8, di ba? You need to wake up at 4, depende kung gaano kalayo ang place mo sa work mo. So if it's like, kung malapit lang, pwede ka siguro gumising ng alas 6. Depende pa yan kung may sasakyan ka or wala kang sasakyan or matraffic or, alam mo yan, kung nagko-commute ka lang ba or whatever. So, these are just some of the factors na bakit attractive ang freelance. Kasi, you don't have, you don't spend sa travel. It lets you save you time, money, and energy spent on unnecessary travel. Kasi pwede mo namang gawin sa bahay yung trabaho. Kasi nga online freelancer ka, di ba? So why would you choose to suffer long commutes? Meron pa nga akong kilala dati that they had to travel like 3 hours from work and going home. So grabe, di ba? Or 3 oras papuntang opisina. another 3 oras pa uwi ng bahay. So, it's very time consuming, no? And ang maganda sa freelance is because you don't travel, you don't commute, you save gas, you save pamasahe, di ba? You save, ano ba, mm, mga luho, di ba? Kasi hindi ka na kumakain sa labas, hindi ka na nagbabaon, wala nang masyadong makeup. Although nagli-lipstick pa din ako, pero alam mo yon, yung damit, pwedeng sa top lang, maayos, sa baba, hindi na. Alam mo yung ganun. So, you get to save um, all the resources that you could possibly save. Kasi nasa bahay ka lang, di ba? Another thing is increased productivity. Now, another good thing about working alone is that you get to focus more on the task at hand. So, ewan ko kung na-experience, I'm sure na-experience niyo. Di ba pag nasa office kayo, ang daming breaks, may mga tea breaks, coffee breaks, may mga yossi breaks pa yung iba. Di ba? So, kung titignan mo talaga, ang daming tayong chika, kwentuhan. Nagsasayang lang kayo ng ilaw and all that sa opisina. But actually, eto lang yung nagawa niyo for the day. Not like online freelancing na mas madami. Ako talaga personally, I would say, ang dami kong nagagawa and it's very productive. And that's also the reason why we are able to handle multiple projects and multiple clients at a time. Kasi you get to focus on, a particular task. Well, of course, I know you have kids, pero kayo na mag-start, you can always come up with strategies on how to, to focus and to really finish the task. Kasi ako, I also had kids. No? I also have kids. Ang mga anak ko ay, like what I did mention, I have 4 girls. So, ang gagawin ko para ma-accomplish ko yun, it's either I wake up very early, because I'm an early riser, so it could be 3 or 4 o'clock, or whatever. Basta maaga talaga ako gumigising para I will be 3 steps ahead of them. Walang disturbance, walang nanggugulo. And just recently, I decided to create my own home office. Although, minsan kahit may opisina na sa bahay, pumapasok ko din sila sa opisina. But yeah, you get what I mean na um, pag, pag you get the hang of freelancing, pwede ka nang develop ng strategies kung paano na matapos mo yung mga task at hand, paano ka magiging productive. Especially mothers, no? We're very used to juggling and multitasking, no? Ayun. So those were just some of the good side, the positive side of freelancing. But like we always say, this path isn't all about sunshines and rainbows and butterflies. Okay? Okay, now let's talk about ano yung parang downside naman ng online freelance. Number one, isolation. Now, if you are not used to doing things all by yourself, freelancing might not be for you. Kasi yung iba gusto nila na may makausap talaga, may kasama sa opisina. Yung gano'n. Although meron namang set up na even if you work remotely, then you can still have a team. Pero yung iba talaga naghahanap sila na gusto nila ng may makita nga tayo. Uy, kape tayo, uy, yosi tayo, or makukwentuhan. So, if you're not used to working alone, baka freelancing is not for you. Another thing is, yung hindi sanay mag-juggle ng multiple clients. Well, it has been said now that juggling and multitasking is actually not effective. It is true naman. So if you are not used to, or if you are not, um, how do I say it? If you are not sanay, or ayaw pala. If you don't like the idea of one shifting from one role to another, or wearing one hat tapos iba na naman, Kung hindi mo gusto yun, then baka hindi ano sa'yo, hindi fit sa'yo yung freelancing. Okay? Another thing is, wala siyang provided benefits. So if you go on freelance, balik tayo, you are not an employee. Okay, I want you to really remember this. As a freelancer, as an online freelancer, you are not an employee. You are a partner. You are an independent contractor. You are a business owner of your own freelancing business. Okay? And that said, wala siyang company benefits. Meron kang ang rate, depende. Hourly or per project or per monthly retainer. Depende. There's a lot of setup na pwedeng gawin. Pero whatever it is, walang company benefits. Yung mga bonuses out of generosity na lang yun ng mga clients. But otherwise, there's no company provided health and other benefits, no? So kung ayaw mo yan, kasi sanay ka na may benefits, insurance from the company, then freelancing might not be for you. Pero yun nga lang, like ako, I'm paying my own benefits. I pay my own taxes. Ako yung nagbabayad ng SSS ko, PhilHealth ko, I have my insurance, yung mga plans and all that. May mga, yung sa mga bata and all that. And I pay my taxes both for moms and digital. Pero, alam mo, kung kung titignan mo, mas beneficial pa rin ang pag-freelance kasi you can charge as much. So, pwede mong kitain double, triple, or sometimes, alam mo, 10 times what you're earning sa pagiging employee. Alam mo yun? So, even if walang benefits ang freelance, the truth is, mas malaki pa rin talaga ang kita ng pag-freelance. Kasi ang pwedeng yung yung per day ng iba, pwedeng 1 oras mo lang yun. Or pwedeng, alam mo yun, basta 10, sabi nga, maalala niyo, panood kayo ng live namin ng Thursday, sabi nga ni Mami Nina, 10 times or more. No? Unlimited kasi talaga ang potential, earning potential pag nag-freelance ka. So you can pay your own benefits, no? But otherwise, kung hindi ka naman prepared and if you don't like to pay your own benefits, then baka nga freelancing is not for you. Okay? Another thing na cons ng freelancing is you will get to run all of the business aspects. So, dahil ikaw yung own marketing department ng own freelance business mo. So, you do everything, no? Ikaw maggagawa ng invoice, ikaw pa yung accounting, ikaw yung customer service, ikaw yung marketing. So, ibig sabihin, ikaw lahat, no? Especially when you're starting. So, if you want to sustain your freelance business, you should always look for clients. And that is true, especially sa mga first months of the business, mga first years of the business. Kasi, nung ako, for example, meron akong kliyente ngayon, and then eventually, matatapos na yung project, especially pag mga short-term projects lang. So if that happens, wala na akong kikitain next month. So I have to, look again for another clients. Alam mo yun? Syempre yung iba, mas gusto nila na employed kasi hindi na nila iisipin yung part na yun eh. When they are employed, they will just say, it's okay because I already have benefits. I already have, a guaranteed paycheck next month. Pero yun nga lang, fixed lang yun. Whereas in freelance, you can earn as much, sa kinikita mo sa pagtatrabaho as an employee. But of course, meron ding isang downside na kung hindi ka naman masyadong magaling sa paghahanap ng kliyente, baka mag-end up din na wala kang kikitain for that month or we don't know, baka for how long, no? So that's another downside of freelancing. Now, the question is, I want you to really think about it, okay? Freelancing ba talaga is for me? You ask yourself, gusto ko ba talaga mag-freelance? Now, I have questions for you. Are you fine with working solo? Okay ka ba na ikaw lang nagtatrabaho sa bahay? Okay? But of course, you have to make sure na to start freelancing, you need to have at least a stable internet connection and a desktop or a laptop and a skill to offer. Actually, yun lang talagang kailangan mo. Of course, you need to have the right mindset to begin with as well. And the right mindset includes that you are not an employee, you have something to offer, yung mga ganun. And that there's always a client for everyone. So make sure lang that your mindset is hindi dun sa scarcity mindset, but dun sa abundant mindset or abundance mindset. Okay? Another thing is, another question that you should answer is, how are your time management skills? Importanteng malaman mo kung gaano kayo mag-handle ng schedule nyo at ng time nyo. Kasi if you want to do freelance and if you want to really earn well, you need to have multiple clients. I started, umabot ako sa 10 clients and I was just doing it all by myself. But of course, hindi ko na ginagawa yun. Kasi somehow nakukuha ko na yung target ko kahit dalawa or tatlong kliyente lang. So nahihit ko na. Hindi kagaya dati that I need to get all of this client para ma-hit yung goal ko. Pero eventually, syempre, nung tumagal na ako sa business, naglalaylo na ako, hindi na siya ganun ka hustling. Kasi meron ng mga strategies na na-develop in place. Alam mo yun? Nagama mo na din yung, under, yung ins and outs, yung manage yung timing mo, alam mo na din, and all that. So that's what happened to me. So from 10, actually ngayon, konti na lang ang clients ko. But still, I'm able to meet my financial goal on a monthly basis. Okay? Now you ask yourself, how good are you when it comes to your time management skills? Because as as someone who's starting the business, you need to really manage your time wisely. Of course, you want to market your services, so you should have time for that. You want to build your online presence, you have to make sure that you also have time for that. Reach out to clients and build your pipeline of clients. Um, madami kang gagawin, especially when you're starting and when you're building your portfolio, when you're building your freelance business. And granting, meron ka ng clients. Siyempre, kunwari meron kang dalawang clients, so i-juggle mo siya. So, i-manage mo kung yung deliverables, alam mo. So, how good are you when it comes to your time management skills? Another question that you should answer is, can you take on different roles? Kaya mo bang mag-handle ng different roles? So, like what I said, if you're running your own freelance business, you are your own marketing department. So you do everything for your freelance business. Can you do that? Okay, can you handle different roles? Another question that you should answer is, how do you stay motivated? Ang iba kasi, when they work at home, tinatamad silang magtrabaho because nasa bahay sila. So it's either wala silang na-accomplish. So if ikaw yun, then freelancing might not be for you. You know what? I think this is really true kasi yung asawa ko, when I started my freelancing, I have been, and then we saw the potential na ang ganda-ganda mag-freelance, and I've been telling him, uy, ala, grabe. And then he witnessed kung mga magkano na yung kinikita and magkano yung earning potential and all that. And syempre, of course, alam niya how I started. So, nung kumikita na talaga, sinasabi niya sa akin, ang galing mo, ang galing. But even if he knew the potential, the freedom and the liberation and all that, he doesn't like working online as a freelancer. You know what? Kasi he cannot keep myself motivated. And that is something na magiging problema mo if you want to start working as an online freelancer. Kasi siya, pag nasa bahay siya, and nakaharap siya ng laptop, ang gagawin nilang lahutan is mag-Facebook, mag-YouTube. Eh kung ganyan, wala kang matatapos. Kaya nga sabi niya sa akin, ay naku, hindi talaga. So he has to work outside, maging employed kasi mas effective siya yung may rigid na structure, alam mo yun. So, if you are also struggling to be motivated and to keep your motivation and be productive while working from home alone, then baka freelancing is not for you. Okay? Another thing is how confident. Although yung confidence, this is something that you can just feel, pwede mo lang naman palakasin ng loob mo. You can practice this. This is something that you can learn. You just practice. Learn new skills, develop, and practice. And then eventually you will become confident. So you just continue to learn, continue to read, and continue to listen to those people who keep on pushing you, supporting you, and believing in you. Para ma-build up yung confidence mo. This is something that you can work on. So huwag kayong mag-alala dito. And another thing is, how are your communication skills? So, yung iba kasi naku-conscious sila if dapat ba daw magaling mag-English when you want to start your own freelancing business or when you become a freelancer. Actually, hindi naman. Although I have to admit that there is a huge help or factor. Iba pa rin talaga if you are good when it comes to, communication. Kasi most of the clients that we are dealing with are foreign clients, international clients, and let's face it, English is the language that we use. So somehow, if you are, good with your English communication, I would really say na it's a factor. It's a plus talaga. Kasi mas you can easily convey your message across. But I'm not saying na dahil hindi ka magaling mag-English, then you cannot make it in this business. Kasi meron din namang mga roles that don't require you to be very good at English, no? Well, sa case ko, because I would interview candidates, I would speak to clients, may mga client-facing ako, then it is required somehow. If you're a content writer, if you're a copywriter, English should be something that you're really good at. Dapat magaling ka talaga sa English communication. Pag ganito na mga niche. Pero pag hindi naman, like data entry, drop shipping, Shopify, Amazon, lead generation, or anong klase ng pag-freelance ng niche dyan, then I don't think na kailangan mo lang maging magaling talaga sa iyong English communication. But of course, I would still encourage you to develop. If you feel na hindi ka masyadong magaling sa iyong pagko-communicate, oral and written, then it's time for you to really practice and develop, and master that skill. Kasi somehow, if you know what are the things that you can offer, if you know what are your capabilities and the value that you can give to your clients, then confidence will follow. Minsan kasi nawawala yung confidence natin because we don't have anything to offer. Although yung iba, kahit na alam natin magaling sila, but they're just not confident because I don't know, for whatever reason, no. But confidence and communication skills, so these are just two of the things that you can learn. This can just be mastered. This can just be developed through time, no. So don't worry about this because kahit hindi magaling sa communication, as long as you can convey your message across, effectively communicate mo lang yung gusto mong sabihin, then it's okay, no? It's okay. And I've known a lot of people who doesn't speak good English, pero naging successful naman sa freelancing business. So it's not like a deal breaker na dapat magaling kang mag-English for you to be able to be successful in this business. So like what I said, this can just be learned, developed, and mastered through time. Right? Now let's talk about the type of freelancers. So there are types of freelancers. Let's talk about the first one, independent contractors. This type of freelancer works from one job to another. So ito yon yung mga um, per project, no? Project based. Another thing is temporary workers. Essentially, these freelancers are hired by various companies as non-permanent workers. Meron din namang mga moonlighters. Now, these freelancers usually have a full-time job and hustle on the side na lang nila yung pag-freelance to supplement their incomes or probably gusto nilang mag-transition from full-time to becoming a freelancer, full-time freelancer. Yung ganun. And then finally, we have the freelance business owners. These are the ones who treat and turn freelancing into a business. Okay, so ang independent contractor sila yung, okay, project per project. Yung freelance business owners naman, ang pag-freelance sa kanila is not just having a project, not just having a gig, but it's a business, no, that supports their family. Okay? And it boils down to mindset. And that's why it's very important that when you start your freelancing business, you have to tell yourself kung ano ba yung mga gusto mong ma-achieve, no? So, like when I started, I already set it to myself na this is a business, and I'm treating this as a business. Alam mo yun? That I am not an employee, that I'm a partner. So, eto yung parang awareness ko na dati. Siguro it helped them because I had an experience working in an international search firm. And naka-attend din ako one time sa isang international event nung workshop about becoming a virtual assistant. So I think I already had an idea that virtual assistants, freelance VAs, freelancers are not employees to begin with. Please do not misunderstand mga moms. When I say that we are not employees, I'm not trying to belittle yung pagiging employed mo. I'm not saying that. Ang sinasabi ko lang that there is much more freedom when you go on freelancing because this is really a business. Ang difference kasi pag employed ka, whether you like it or not, you are at the mercy of your employer. And sometimes you cannot say what you want to say because natatakot ka na, ay baka tanggalin, ay baka isumbong, ay baka mademo, ay baka yung mga ganun. That's not the case in freelance because I can tell what I exactly want to tell my clients, whether or not he wants to hear it or she doesn't want to hear it, provided na makakatulong ito sa business niya. Alam mo yung ganun. Sa, kasi ang daming pag-ibo sa employee setup, di ba? And sometimes when you ask an employee, hindi mo alam if they're telling the truth. Baka sinabi niya lang yun kasi natatakot siya sa'yo kasi boss ka niya. Di ba? Or baka natatakot siya mawala ng trabaho. Alam mo yun. So, mas may freedom talaga when you go on freelance and do it on your own. Okay? Now, let's talk about the services that you can offer. So, sabihin natin, okay, may alam ko na kung ano yung freelance. alam ko na what does freelancer do. Now, alam ko na ano yung pwede kong ma-offer. Okay? Now, there's a lot that you can offer as a freelancer. You can offer your VA service. That's why we say freelance virtual assistant. You can offer your writing skill. So if you're a good writer, then pwede kang maging content writer or copywriter. No? Editing and proofreading, pwede mo yung ma-offer as a service. Online shooting. Design, if you're good with design. Website, if you're good with designing website. Digital marketing, if you're good with that. No? Recruitment. Law, legal, management, IT, data entry, and there's so much more. Amazon, lead generation, real estate, social media management, and marketing, SEO. You know, there's a lot. But if you want to start, you can start with virtual assistant business. You know, para siyang executive assistant who does all of the work for a foreign client. You can also do that. So, ang dami, no? Ang dami. I want you to think about this. Isipin nyo yung mga ginagawa sa labas, like bookkeeping, dalhin nyo lang yun na skill sa online. Ganun lang. Okay? So, kunwari, ang trabaho mo ay IT specialist ka sa kumpanya mo. Then that same skill, you can bring that and offer that sa foreign clients. Okay? And you can do it online. Ganun. Or say legal assistant, legal researcher, you can also offer the same thing to your clients. Or executive assistant ka, you can offer the same thing to your clients. So yung mga na tinatrabaho sa labas, no, just bring that sa online freelancing is the same thing. Okay, para hindi kayo malito. Ano kayong pwede? Lahat pwede. Kung ano yung nakikita in-offer sa employment setup, yun. Those are the same and similar service that you can offer to your clients abroad. Right? Okay, now let's try to debunk some of the freelancing myths. Yan, ito sinasabi nila, okay, kailangan daw na may college degree and an online course certificate para maging successful sa online freelancing. Meron pa yung nagsabi sa akin, nag-succeed ka na kasi kasi di ba, nakapagtapos ka, magaling ka mag-Ingles. It's not that. No? Hindi required ang pagkakaroon ng college degree. Even course, no, sa online freelancing or course certificate sa online freelancing para mag-succeed ka. Because everything boils down to your skills. So ano yung mga skills na pwede mong ipakita? Skills which can come from college experience, previous work experience, or even hobbies. Kaya nga, I always tell my mentees, stop or refrain from saying na, I am a newbie. Refrain from saying, I am new to online freelancing. Because technically, bago ka lang sa online freelancing, pero yung skills mo, yung experience mo back in college, yung mga hobbies mo, yung experience mo sa mga previous employment or work experience mo, diba? Ano pala yun? You can bring those along with you when you look for work sa online freelancing. Okay? Okay. Another thing is, another pala myth that I would like to debunk is on only high-tech computers can do the job. Yung sinasabi nila, wala kasi akong yung magandang laptop. Ano bang dapat? Core i? Ano ba yung mga specs na kailangan? Sometimes you're just gonna suck it up in the beginning and take it one step at a time. This is what I always say. Maximize what you have, and you can just scale later. Nung nagsimula ako, it's a 3-year-old laptop. Matagal na laptop na yun. Wala pang anything except alam mo yun, sa laptop na yun. Pinagtsagaan ko yung laptop na yun hanggang sa makabili ako ng bagong laptop. Ngayon, hindi na siya. Dati, I can still hear pag may, kasi ngayon yung old laptop ngayon, hindi na siya gumagana. Hindi na naririnig yung kausap ko. Pero, dati, somehow okay pa yun. So, I made use of it, when I started my online freelancing business. Pero eventually, nag-decide na din ako na mag-upgrade. So, I invested. I bought a new laptop, an office chair, etc. etc. Pero wag, yun na nga eh, when you start, don't complicate things. Like what I said, you can just start by having a basic laptop or a desktop and a stable internet connection. You just have to, have that confidence that you can do the job and right mindset as a foundation to start your freelance business. Okay? Huwag din na kayo masyadong i-complicate na I need to buy a new laptop, I need to buy an office chair, dapat may ganito, dapat no, 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 you don't need it. I-ano mo muna, i-enhance mo muna yung skills mo, pagandahin yung mga portfolio mo, and you can take it one step at a time. Alright? Another thing is there is no job security. Totoo naman talaga. Walang job security because we are not employed. Okay? But you know what? Kahit nasasabihin natin sa corporate setup, wala din naman job security. Unless siguro pag nasa government ka. No? If you're working in a private institution, wala din. And I think you have realized that, especially in the pandemic, ang daming natanggal. So, nung natanggal sila, what happened now? Diba? Parang, ko alam ang gagawin. Kasi, whether we like it or not, there's no such a thing as indispensability. No one is indispensable in their companies. Papalitan ka at mapapalitan ka. So even if it's true in freelancing that there's no such thing as job security, ikaw naman kasi ang nakatoka dyan eh. You are in charge of your marketing team. You are your own marketing team, di ba? You are your own marketing department. So, if one client is gone, then you can always find another client. So, sa case ko, I keep my leads warm. So, I have an Excel sheet where I have all my prospects and I have all my clients, past clients, and I have them. So, pag may nasisense na kung this project will eventually end up soon, then I have to be ready na meron na replace na kliyente. Alam mo yun? Kasi wala din namang permanenteng kliyente. I have had long-term clients in the past, pero eventually it came to an end. Meron akong client dati sa isang aviation company. Ang tagal ko na din, parang 2 years. Parang ako yung in-house recruitment consultant nila. Pero, alam mo yung may nasisense na ako na, naku, pwedeng matapos na yung kontrata namin kasi hindi na maganda yung kinikita ng company, especially nung time ng pandemic. So, may mga ganon. You just have, kasi naman, you have to be ready. Ready dito, no? So, like what I said, alam mo na to dapat. When I started the business, I already had this idea na there is no such a thing as one client only. So, I have to, continue building my pipeline of clients. And I have to continue marketing my services and building my online presence, my own brand, para in case mawala yung isang client, then you can look for another client. Or kung hindi man look, they can find you. No? Yung gano'n. Okay. And finally, sinasabi nila that everyone can be a freelancer. Ito naman, I think talaga, this is not correct statement na everyone can be a freelancer. Kasi di ba, example ko yung husband ko. While I really want him to become an online freelancer, and while he already had an idea kung ano yung potential na kikitain and much more, still he doesn't like it because, hindi siya productive. Alright? No, okay. Now, if you like to work on just your own tasks, on projects, and not on other business functions, freelancing might not be for you. Pwede naman, may mga VAs naman, no, na they are employed. So you have to keep in mind na may dalawang VAs, no. There's a freelance virtual assistant and there is an employed virtual assistant. Ito yung mga working pa din sa kanilang clients abroad, but they are in a fixed employed setup. So provided sila ng mga benefits, naka-time tracker sila, naka-fixed yung timing nila that they have to be working from 8 to 5 American, US time zone, yung ganon. So in that setup, you cannot call yourself a freelancer because a freelancer has the control of everything, her time, her rate, and what kind of projects to take on, clients to work with, etc., etc. So, pwede din naman if that's what you want. If you want to become a full-time VA, then yung setup na yon is employed ka, no? You cannot work with another client kasi exclusively working ka for one client. Ang litmus test lang talaga for you to be able to identify if you're a freelancer or if you're an employed, a freelancer VA, for example, or an employed VA, ang litmus test dyan is control. If you are being controlled by the client, then you are employed. So yun na nga, time tracked. Tapos, dapat ganitong oras ka pumasok, dapat ganitong oras ka pumasok, dapat mag-take ka ng leave ng ganito, dapat magpaalam, dapat ganito, dapat ganito. Pag may mga ganong rules, then you are employed. Kasi sa freelancing, you don't have that kind of control. Hindi ikaw ang pinakontrol. Mas you can work on your own. You can do things on your own. Except that, of course, it has to be agreed both by the parties, no, by the client. Pero hindi siya yung stiff, gets mo? Yung parang you are at the mercy ng isang party. Alam mo na. Alright, now, what about COVID-19? Now, is it a good time to freelance? 2 years na yung COVID, no? Hanggang ngayon, di pa tapos. And you'll never know until when ito matatapos. Ngayon, may Omicron na naman. Alert level 3 kami dito. Yung sa ibang parts siguro, nagla-lockdown na, I'm not sure, di ba? So, why would you wait, no? Para magsimula. Para sa akin, now is the good time to start. Now is a good time to do freelancing. You know why? Because number one, it makes social distancing easier or possible. You don't need to do social distancing kasi nasa bahay ka na, di ba? Somehow you can feel a sense of security and safety kasi hindi ka lumalabas ng bahay. Walang commute, walang kahalubilo ng mga opisina and all that. You do things on your own, you accomplish things on your own, you finish tasks on your own at home, di ba? So, walang social distancing. It makes it easier for you to avoid people kasi nasa bahay ka na. And of course, it gives people time to rest. Like sa case ko, if I wanted to work, I can work. But if I wanted to rest, I can rest. Pero alam mo, when I do freelance, eto kasi iniisip nila, no? Para sa akin, when I started my freelancing business and then eventually created, founded Moms at Work, mas gusto kong magtrabaho 24/7. Well, of course, what I'm saying is, mas passionate pala. That's what I'm saying. I wanna say, mas passionate ako. Mas gusto kong madaming ma-accomplish. No? Alam mo yun. But of course, even if I'm, really focused on getting the job done, ang maganda pa din working from home is it gives you time to rest. So if I wanted to rest, then I can just rest. If I wanted to sleep, then I can sleep kasi nasa bahay. Alam mo yung madali lang, hindi sila pahinga muna ako, ay not muna. And then this is really true. It keeps the cash flowing. I'm not exaggerating, hindi kami nag-exaggerate nung nag-uusap tayo about finances. Although it's not just all about the money, pero this is a very malaking tulong, malaking bagay talaga na may, may income na pumapasok even in times ng pandemic. Naalala ko nga ng mga friends ko na magandang trabaho nung nag-COVID. They came to me and said, "Me, baka pwede mo akong tulungan para mag-freelance because and then lumapit sila sa akin no, and then they said, gusto nila mag-freelance, di ba? Kasi hindi nila alam kung meron pa ba silang trabahong babalikan. No? Ang freelancing kasi you can, like what I said, you can do the job while at home. And having said that, yung cash, it will continue to flow. Diba? Kasi you have clients. You can work and you still have clients so that hindi affected yung income. No? Um, Actually, unlimited na. If you want to do more, you can do more. Yun walang limit sa pwede mong kitain so long as you can handle, so long as you can accommodate, and so long as you can deliver. Right? Okay, now if you want to transition from corporate to freelancing, how are you going to do that? Okay, the first thing that I would advise really is to do your homework. You do your homework, you research, you read a lot. We have a lot of resources on Moms at Work. You can browse the resources that we have. We also have courses. If you want, you can avail some of the courses that we have. But otherwise, you can do everything and learn everything for free. There's a lot of tutorials on Moms at Work sa page natin on how to start freelancing, how to become a virtual assistant, and doing work, and how to work from home while being a mom. So you do your homework, but of course, don't forget that you need to have a stable internet connection to begin with, and you have to have a desktop or a laptop and a skill to offer. So pag alam mo na kung ano yung skill na yung offer mo, enhance that skill, tapos pagandahin mo yung portfolio mo, you create your social media presence, and you surround yourself with people who will push you, will help you to to be to become a freelancer. You surround yourself with people na sasabihin mo, you can do it. Who will be your cheerleader. And that is something that we do at most of Work. We tell you na kaya mo. Kasi we are a mothers also, and we have been there sa mga pinagdadaanan na hindi na alam kung anong gagawin. Lack of finances, walang nanny sa mga bata, breastfeeding. Ako, I've been breastfeeding my girls for as long as I can remember. I breastfed my first child hanggang ngayong fourth child ko, and I still do tandem breastfeeding sa third and fourth child ko. And I don't have a nanny. Of course, meron akong ngayon, but part-time lang to. Dati, I started with no nanny. Alam mo yun? So, you have to do your homework, you have to do your research, and you have to make sure kung i-familiarize mo yung time kung kailan ka available magtrabaho for the client kasi meron kang mga anak yun. So, dapat ma-familiarize mo yung patterns. When would you be working yung sa mga chores mo sa bahay, time with your kids and all that. Okay? And also, crunch the numbers. So you have to process the numbers. You analyze exactly. You identify kung magkano ba ang pera na gusto kong kitain. Magkano um, how much money that is available. How much is the rate. Ilang oras ang pwede kong i-consume if eto yung kita. you analyze it, you examine it, no? Para malaman mo kung how much are you willing to take as far as payment is concerned. Kasi sinasabi nila, uy, dapat magsimula ka as $3 kasi baguhan ka lang. Do not believe that. Okay? I started my freelance business and I started charging $10. Although meron akong pinahagel na dalawa where they pay me 8.5 and $8 per hour. No? Pero hanggang ngayon, kliyente ko pa rin. But of course, hindi na 8 na. Nag-increase na yun. So what I'm saying is, do not believe them if they say, uy, dapat mo charge ka lang ng 3, uy, dapat mo charge ka lang ng 8 kasi baguhan ka lang. Let's go back to the control that I've been talking to earlier. That you have to control, that you have the control and you can decide. Okay? You can decide na feeling ko, okay, sa ang gusto kong i-charge. And kaya kong panindigan ng 6 or 7 or 15 or 20. It doesn't matter. So you analyze, no? You analyze, you process the numbers. How many hours can you work in a day? Kasi di ba you're a mother. No? How many hours you work and how much are you willing to, how many hours are you willing to spend na magtrabaho for a client. And then you compute that. You analyze it na, okay, pag etong oras lang sa isang araw ang kaya kong trabahuin, magkano kaya ito? I-compute mo siya, i-proseso mo, para alam mo, no, ma-estima mo ba, ma-estimate mo how many hours can you spare in one day or in one week or in one month working for a client, and you can also analyze kung ilang kliyente ang pwede mong hawakan, no? Because you're able to examine and analyze the numbers. You have to understand that you are a mother, no? So you cannot allow yourself na ma-exhaust and ma-burn out. So like what we always say na just take it slow, mama, okay? And number 3, don't be a stranger. So make use of Google, make use of if you don't know anything, if you don't know anything, you can browse on Google, research. You can find everything on Google. You can find everything on YouTube. You can find everything on the web. And minsan pag tayo kasi pag especially yung mga Pinoy, when they don't know a person, then they tend to become timid. So as much as possible, be comfortable talking with people. And what to expect as a freelancer, what to expect as a new online freelancer. Um, of course, because you are expected to juggle multiple clients and to take on multiple projects, you have to prepare to set and manage boundaries. This is very important, knowing that you are a mother, you have kids, you have chores, and you have a husband, you have a lot of things on your plate. So you have to set and manage boundaries. Kailangan ito. Kasi even if you're working from home, hindi siya, yung mga Pinoy kasi, ano tayo parang we wanted to, napaka-generous natin. Pag kahit alam na ng client na gabi na, pag nagre-reply ka pa din sa kanila, they will think that it's okay lang sa'yo. So, do not allow yourselves na maabuso ng mga foreign clients, okay? Kasi sila, for example, if they send you an email na, for example, And then you're not supposed to answer it kasi gabi na or whatever, weekend. And then, syempre, nasa bahay lang tayo, di ba? And because nasa bahay lang tayo, sometimes we don't set boundaries. Ah, okay lang, you can sit on your office 24/7. Tapos pagkita mo, uy, nag-message si client. Ah, re-replyan ko to. No, don't be, um, too, how do you say it? Huwag maging attack na replyan si client. Okay? You create boundary para hindi maabuso. Kasi when you are always accessible and when you're always available for the client, iisipin niya na it's just okay. Okay? You have to remember na kayo ay may control sa inyong mga oras. So, for example, client sends you an email now, and then gabi or holiday or weekend or madaling araw, don't reply it right away. No? You learn to create and set boundaries. That is for your sanity. Okay? Pag nasanay kasi sila they can just continue to do it. No? Another thing is prepare to come across naysayers. Madaming naysayers. Do not listen to them. Whether naysayers coming from your family or coming from friends or coming from whoever, do not believe them, okay? Ako, I don't listen. Although wala naman so far ako na-come across na naysayers sa mga friends and family ko. But just in case, no, do not believe them. Do not listen to them. Kasi meron ako mga friends na nakilalang freelancers na sinasabi, oh, ano ba yan? Bakit nasa bahay ka na nagtatrabaho? Eh, nurse ka naman, dapat nasa ospital ka. Uy, ano ka, cum laude ka, bakit ka nag-online freelancer lang? Uy, eto yung natapos mo, bakit online freelancer lang? Uy, bakit nasa bahay, etc. etc. Hindi, ignore them, you know? Don't listen to what they have to say. They just don't realize, ito nga sinasabi namin parati. Hindi, we don't need anything to, we don't need to prove anything. Alam mo yun, naku, hindi naman sa ano ha, pero they don't have an idea how much freelancers are earning, especially premium payments. So, shrug it off and move on and ignore. Do what you just have to do. Focus on your growth, on yourself, on your development, on your professional career, and just leave, leave them alone. Alam mo yun. So, eto lang yung masakit, especially if the naysayers are coming from your own family, your husband or your mother or whatever. But just the same, just ignore and don't listen to them. Yeah, it's important that you surround yourself also with like-minded people who understands you and who will push you and who will help you to achieve your goals. And that is something that we also guarantee at Moms at Work. We are here, a community of freelancer moms who are willing to go hand in hand and journey with you. So if you need that kind of community, then please join our virtual boss mom group on Facebook and follow us on all our social media channels para ano kayo, somehow ma-motivate kayo and ma-push kayo to do good and to do more and yeah, to explore more about freelancing. Another thing is prepare for rejection. So when you work as an online freelancer, you expect that rejection will always be there. So it's always be part of the business. Don't be scared to be rejected. Not everyone is not everyone will be for you. So kahit ako, I've been rejected a lot of times and I don't take it personally. So this is what I always say. Do not take things personally. So whether a client so if a client says, we're not moving forward with the process, we're not hiring you as our consultant, hindi ikaw ang VA na gusto namin i-hire now. I know it's painful, no? It's easier said than done. I know it's painful, especially for somebody who's just starting. Pero trust me that hindi siya personal. So it's not about you. There's just so many reasons bakit hindi ikaw ang pumili, no? So it could be time zone difference, it could be values, it could be rate, baka mahal ka lang or baka mura ka lang. Alam mo yung ganun. Baka hindi kayo nag-align ng values, baka whatever. No, there's a lot of reason and don't take it personally. Don't say, ay baka hindi ako magaling, ay baka hindi ako hindi ako magaling mag-English, ay baka siguro baka hindi niya ako nagustuhan and all that. No, don't focus on yourself. You just have to accept the fact na it's not meant to be. So do not take it personally. Although you can ask for feedback, what you can improve on, pero hindi kasi lahat ng client nagbibigay ng feedback. So for example, if after the discovery call, or after the interview, whatever you want to call it, and then sabi ni client, "Uy, may pasensya, we're moving on with another, freelancer or VA." Then you can ask, "Hello James, pwede bang malaman kung ano yung feedback about me and why, bakit iba ang napili, bakit hindi, whatever." You can ask for feedback, para you can improve for the next time. Pero hindi kasi lahat ng mga clients nagbibigay ng feedback. So kung hindi naman, you can just move on and look for another client. But otherwise, be ready for the rejection because even experts, even premium and seasoned freelancers face rejection still until now. Okay? So don't take it personally. Mistakes to avoid as a newbie. Okay, so eto yun. Pag newbie ka, well, like what I said, I don't want to call anybody a newbie kasi wala naman talaga newbie, no? Parang sinasabi lang natin, baguhan ka as far as working online is concerned, but otherwise, hindi ka baguhan because you already have experience working um, sa corporate office or you already had, past experience sa school, yung mga ganun, mga conferences, hobbies, and mga skills sa dating employee mo, no? Employer mo. But yeah, just for the sake of conversation, mistakes to avoid when you're just starting as a freelancer. Okay? So, eto yung mga huwag mo talagang gawin. Yung walang initiative. Don't wait for the client to spoon feed you with information na assign task to you. You have to maximize Google, Learn everything that you can possibly learn. Do your own research. Read a lot. Okay? Yung pwedeng, ay, wala akong narinig kay client. Ano kaya, tapos mag-aantay ka na, ano kaya iutos niya? No, huwag ka mag-antay. You take the initiative. Look for ways. Mag-aral ka, mag-search ka. Okay? Kaya minsan, makakainis yung may nilagay ka na sa post. Why? Why po? How po? Interested? PM me? Ano ba yan? Diba? I mean, you have to make reading a habit. Okay? Another mistake that you could avoid when you're starting out is accepting all clients because not everyone is your client. You cannot serve to everyone. You need to have a target client. Okay? You have to be picky when it comes to choosing the clients you want to work with. Di ba we have non-negotiables? We've talked about it earlier. So ano yung mga non-negotiables mo? Align ba yun sa ibang kliyente? No? These other clients might not be willing to take your non-negotiables. So hindi sila yung client for you. Okay? So you have to be very picky. Another one is lack of self-discipline. It's on you to prevent yourself from getting distracted on the job. So, yun na nga eh. You have to make sure that you can motivate yourself because it's you. Ikaw lang yung mag-isa na nagtatrabaho online. Alright? Okay. Alright, so I think that's all. If you're ready to start your freelance journey, just let us know, no, mga moms. I hope, somehow you've learned something from this video. Pasensya naman. Ngarag na, no? It's very late already. But yeah, thank you so much for standing by and tuning in. And if you want to know more about freelancing, you can browse through our courses. I have a course the on moms at work. The title of the course is A to Z of freelancing. So these are the in-depth discussion on how to start becoming a freelance virtual assistant or or a freelancer. So if you want to learn more about freelancing, meron tayong course na sa Moms at Work. And if you want to focus on specialized niche, meron din tayo. So we have design, we have design accelerator program, we have social media management and marketing, we have SEO, we have English, and soon we will have copywriting course. But that is if you want to, niche down and focus on your specialized. But if you want to become, a general virtual assistant and you want to start working from home, then you can start with the A to Z of freelancing. So, i-discuss ko doon yung in-depth on how to start working from home, from creating your brand to your portfolio to client hunting, where to go to look for clients and all that. So if you want to learn more, then you can just message us on Moms at Work. Okay, and the enrollment is now open. So ayun lang po. I hope you guys learned something. But otherwise, there's a lot of free resources out there. So I wish you nothing but the best in your freelance journey. So whether you're ready to enroll or not, we are just here to support you all the way. Moms at Work is, just here to guide you all throughout, and it's our joy to see mothers not just survive, but of course thrive in the freelancing business. And so, ayun lang, if you have questions, feel free to drop by. Sasagutin po namin yan. But for the time being, I wish you well. Have a lovely evening. And yeah, I wish you have a great weekend. Happy Sunday for tomorrow. Much love.